Have you ever heard of the Caipora? They say she dwells deep in the Brazilian forests, protecting the animals and punishing those who dare to disrespect nature. But what really lies behind this mysterious figure of folklore? Some hunters swear they've heard laughter coming from the woods, light and quick footsteps, almost as if someone were playing hide-and-seek. Others tell chilling stories of encounters, traps appearing out of nowhere, footprints vanishing in seconds, and the echo of a scream that seems to come from every direction. Imagine being alone in the forest, the wind whispering through the trees, and suddenly realizing that something is watching you. The Caipora, they say, has hair red as fire and piercing eyes that reflect the very soul of the forest. She is small, agile, and almost impossible to catch, but her power is immense, able to confuse, scare, and even punish those who disrespect the animals or the forest itself. And what if I told you there are real accounts of people claiming to have felt her presence? That some of the oldest indigenous communities still offer rituals to avoid angering her? Are we facing a legend, a myth created to teach respect for nature? Or is there something far darker hidden among the trees? Today, we'll step into the forest, follow the trail of the Caipora, and discover that not everything that seems enchanting is just a story. Get ready to feel shivers, hear the whisper of the leaves, and maybe, if you dare, hear the mischievous laughter of the forest's guardian. The Caipora is one of the most fascinating and enigmatic figures in Brazilian folklore. Her name comes from the Tupi-Guarani language and means inhabitant of the forest, and since ancient times she has lived in the stories and traditions of indigenous communities, passed down through generations. In the legends, the Caipora is the protector of animals and the forest itself, a guardian who punishes those who disrespect nature or hunt irresponsibly. Historically, the Caipora also serves an educational role. She appears as a warning to hunters and forest explorers, reminding them that the forest is not just a place of resources, but a living environment full of mysteries and forces beyond what the eyes can see. In rural areas and in the stories told by elders, people still speak of tiny footprints that appear and vanish, laughter echoing through the trees, and unexpected encounters that leave anyone on edge. But the Caipora is not just a figure of popular imagination. She is a symbol of cultural resistance, connecting indigenous myths to Brazilian traditions and emphasizing the importance of respecting wildlife. In every tale, every account, and every warning passed down through generations, there is a thread of reality that blends fear, respect, and mystery. Today, we'll explore these stories and try to understand, are we facing a simple legend, or something that still hides in the depths of the forest? The forest keeps its secrets, and the Caipora is their guardian. Those who dare to ignore her rules may never walk among the trees the same way again. The legend of the Caipora spreads across all regions of Brazil, but especially in the densest forests of the interior, where wildlife is abundant and the forest seems to have a will of its own. They say she is small, yet incredibly agile, able to move between the trees with a speed that challenges any hunter or explorer. Her red hair draws attention from afar, like flames lighting up the darkness of the woods, and her eyes, they say, reflect the forest's ancient wisdom. Some accounts claim she carries a club or stick, used not to harm, but to frighten and confuse those who dare disrespect her territory. The Caipora does not reveal herself easily. Many who enter the forest report hearing distant laughter, light footsteps, and the constant feeling of being watched. Some stories tell of hunters who, after a full day tracking animals, return home disoriented, unable to find any trace of their prey, as if the forest itself had swallowed everything. In some regions, they say she can manipulate the environment, falling branches, trees blocking paths, sudden fog, all to protect the animals and teach respect. But it's not only hunters who report encounters with the Caipora. Entire villages speak of strange phenomena on full moon nights, whispers among the leaves, shadows moving without explanation, and footprints that vanish before anyone can investigate. Children, in particular, were warned by their families never to enter the forest alone, for they might encounter the guardian and awaken her wrath. Though mischievous and playful, the Caipora does not forgive those who harm wildlife without reason. The stories also reveal an intriguing duality. The Caipora is not purely malevolent. She protects the weak and punishes the abusive, functioning almost like the forest's own justice. In some versions, she even helps lost hunters find their way back, as long as they have shown respect for nature. The line between protection and vengeance is thin, and many believe any misstep could be fatal. There are even more disturbing accounts. People who claim to have seen the Caipora up close describe a deep sense of unease, as if the forest itself is judging their hearts. The wind rustling through the trees seems to carry messages, and the Caipora's laughter, though small and seemingly fragile, echoes as a warning that no one is above the forest. Some storytellers insist she still dwells in the most remote areas, ever present, ever watchful, always guarding her secrets. Behind every legend, there is always the same question. Is the Caipora merely a creation of popular imagination, a myth used to teach respect for animals and nature? Or is there something real, invisible to the human eye, silently walking among the trees, observing every step and decision of those who dare enter her territory? The forest keeps its answer, and those who listen closely may realize that not everything that seems like fantasy is entirely unreal. And it is precisely in the heart of the forest that the most frightening accounts appear. Some hunters and locals claim to have encountered traces that defy all logical explanation. Tiny footprints that appear and vanish, objects displaced as if moved by invisible hands, and the sound of mischievous laughter echoing with no apparent source. Some swear they have seen a small reddish figure with eyes that seem to glow in the dark, sneaking between the trees, almost as if playing a game of chasing those who watch it. One case, told by villagers in the interior of Snow Paulo, is especially intriguing. A group of hunters entered the forest on a full moon night, and, while trying to capture a deer, felt as if something was guiding them away from the animal. Every attempt to approach seemed thwarted by invisible forces, falling branches, paths that vanished, footsteps coming from every direction. Some claim to have seen, for a brief moment, a red silhouette leaping among the trees before disappearing without a trace. And it's not just ancient accounts. People living near forests still share recent experiences. Strange sounds at night, leaves moving without wind, whispers that cannot be identified. All of this reinforces the aura of mystery surrounding the Caipora. And the most unsettling part, no one can say for sure whether she is real or simply a product of collective imagination, oral tradition, or fear of the forest. The Caipora leaves us with an unsettling question. Is she merely a legend created to teach respect for nature, or does she truly exist, silently walking among the trees and animals, watching every human step? It is impossible to answer with certainty, and perhaps it is precisely this uncertainty that makes her story so powerful and so terrifying. The fear of the unknown, the feeling of being watched by something invisible yet alive. The Caipora remains one of the greatest mysteries of Brazilian folklore, a guardian blending legend, tradition, and an unsettling sense of presence. She reminds us that the forest is not just an empty space or a resource to be exploited, but a living environment, full of secrets and forces we often cannot understand. Every story, every account, every warning passed down through generations carries a lesson. Respect nature, respect the animals, and tread carefully. Even if we can never be certain of her existence, the Caipora challenges us to see the forest with new eyes. She is a symbol of balance, justice, and, above all, mystery. Perhaps she truly exists, silently watching. Or perhaps she is just a powerful story that connects us to our cultural roots and respect for the natural world. But the doubt remains, and it is that doubt that keeps us curious, alert, and maybe just a little spooked. If you enjoyed uncovering the secrets of the Caipora and were intrigued by these stories, don't forget to leave a like to support the channel and subscribe, so you won't miss any of the mysteries we reveal. Share this video with friends who love folklore, suspense, and legends, and continue exploring the secrets that nature still holds. After all, the forest is full of mysteries, and the Caipora is just the beginning. Until the next video, and be careful. You never know who is watching you from among the trees.